Take two. Take two. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 82. We have a bunch to talk about today with some new updates in the Legion beta, Warcraft movie news, merchandising news, all sorts of stuff. But before we do that, I would like to introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead site manager, Perculia.
Hey everyone! Pepe is a cupcake today. There is so much movie news with the movie launching internationally, and beta key giveaways continue, as well as some fun things we found. So yeah, let's get the beta out of the way, and then we have movie and merchandise stuff.
Yes! Okay, so I made a gallery for this so we can talk about it while the gallery goes.
Yep.
Dalaran got a bunch of updates. I mean, obviously Dalaran in general is updated for Legion, but it got a bunch of individual updates, just little like aesthetic type things, and I made a gallery if you want to talk about it while it plays.
Sure. So there's this store that's devoted to paintings, and they're based on famous works of art. So we have the Mona Lisa as a gnome. We've got sunflowers. We have Monet water lilies. We've got Pepe with fruit looking like some, Renaissance still life. And it's just really cute, the detail they've put into that the prop team worked on, that you can really see all the different styles. There's like some very formal Alliance and Horde portraits as well. We also found some other cute details, like a box of Hearthstones. So now we know what happens to all your spare Hearthstones, or maybe when people die, they just collect all the Hearthstones, which is more sinister. And then there's also some cute things like stuffed animals, or just really cute. Like there's a stuffed animal on a bed that's very, we have all these plushies, and now there's plushies in WoW. And yeah, just cute like little food updates, like Hearthstones are used as coasters. Even cupcakes have like sprinkles and toppings on them. All that sort of fun stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it's super adorable. I actually loved the idea that when you go into the inn, you see a Hearthstone sitting on the table near the innkeeper, and there's something just really like, I don't know, there's something really thoughtful about that, because for so long we've had a Hearthstone in our bags, and it's never really actually been something that's been present in game, and it gives you an idea of how big it would be. You know what I mean? Like what the scale of a Hearthstone would be in game. Like I always thought like little tiny, but apparently these things are huge. We're carrying around like doorstops.
I know.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We've gotten just those little updates in general that they've done to Dalaran have been it just shows you how far like World of Warcraft has come as far as like details and artwork and graphics and stuff like that, because there's just so much cute stuff. I didn't include this video, but do you want to talk a little bit about what's in it?
Yeah, sure. So there's also there's another version of Dalaran that you can fly to above Karazhan currently on the Legion beta, and in this version of Dalaran, it's like a snapshot of Dalaran moving from its current location over to the Broken Isles, and everything is a total mess. And I believe this is going to be like the pre-patch version of Dalaran, where you're introduced to the new layout and the new doodads, but it's not fully functional. So, for example, the toy vendor is just flying around the city on a toy zeppelin, just like going in a big circle instead of dealing with the mess. There's a gnome who is stuck on a wall, and half of him is by the fishing area, and the other half is in the pet store. All the, plushies and doodads, everything is on the ground because the sudden force of the city moving knocked everything off the shelves. The wine vendor is mad about a shipment now being delayed. People at the inn are rioting. There's a big pile of gold that fell out of the bank, and people are scooping it back up. There's people that are dazed around in a corner. This one guy is like, only half of my cheese made it through. How are we to run a wine and cheese shop with an abundance of wine and only mere crumbles of delicious cheese? This is outrageous. It's preposterous.
This is outrageous. I've got the video up now. It took me a second. I apologize. But it is a 13-minute video, so I don't think I would have put the whole thing in. I'm trying to skip through to see if I can find any of the cute points that you mentioned. But yeah, I think it's adorable that they're actually showing that movement taking place. I think that's, again, just a really thoughtful thing that they're doing. Wish I could find that gnome half stuck in a wall. That would be so great.
We've got some pictures on Wowhead, but the pet thing is funny in general because the new version of Dalaran has, like, Elec plushies in cases, and in this version, the Elec plushies are, like, on their sides and on the ground, so it's poor Elec plushies.
That's really cute. That's really cute. But yeah, if you guys want to see the whole video. Oh my gosh, they didn't have Cloud either. That we just saw Aerith and there was no Cloud.
Oh yeah, when you talk to her, she's like, I don't know what's gotten into the flowers. I stopped trying to collect them once they started.
Oh.
Well, they started collecting themselves. Strange, isn't it?
There's all the Alec plushies all over the ground. Yep. That
and
is
the gnome
so
is over.
Funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it shows, but yeah, the gnome is in that room. And,
oh, she is? Okay, wait, I'll go back.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe we can find it.
Yeah, if you pan to the other side, you should see it.
Let's see when we first walk in. All right, he's walking in there right now.
Yeah, so the left side. Yeah.
Oh my god, I see him. I saw him. He was behind the fish tank. That's hilarious. Look at the animals are all dizzy too. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Oh my god, Blizzard, please. So, yeah, if you guys want to see that whole video, it is at youtube.com/wowhead. It's about 14 minutes long, so it explores the whole city. That's adorable. That's really, really cute. Yeah. Also, okay, talk about this next thing so that we can talk about the unicorn.
Okay, so you're going to put up the spoiler tag?
Yeah, I have it. Hold on. Okay. Go into you and the spoiler. Okay, if you don't want spoilers, mute until you don't see spoilers anymore. Ready, go.
All right, so there is a quest line that you can access at max level, which draws upon some of the cosmic lore in World of Warcraft Chronicle, as well as some of the lore in Illidan. And I'll just read some of the clips from this. So Khadgar says, I may have found a key to unlock Light's heart. I was going through some ancient cosmology tomes when I stumbled upon a passage indicating that the Prime Naru may have been created by Elune during the Great Ordering of Light and Shadow. And if you are familiar with Chronicles, like the very first page is this, gorgeous cosmology map of Light at the top and Shadow at the bottom. And then if Elune did create Zera, then it stands to reason that we could use the Tears of Elune to unlock the secrets of Light's heart. It's a long shot, but we've got nothing left to lose. And then in the next quest, you talk to this Naru who says, do not be alarmed, mortal. Your consciousness has been projected to my astral presence in the great dark beyond. I am Zera, one of the first Naru to be forged here during the great ordering of the cosmos. You have come to the crucible of all creation in search of answers. Listen then and find enlightenment. In a time long past, a great battle was fought that would determine the fate of all worlds. It was in that final battle that the all-powerful Titan Pantheon fell to one of their own Sargeras. After the fall, none were left to oppose his will. Unfettered, the Dark Titan and his burning legion would go on to annihilate countless worlds in their burning crusade. From the ashes of those ravaged worlds, survivors arose to stand against the demons. They became known as the Army of Light. But now, the Golden Army teeters upon the precipice of oblivion as their campaign on Argus nears its terminus. Should they fall, the Legion will initiate a new burning crusade, and with it the cosmos will tremble. I am here now on a mission of desperation. I seek the child of light and shadow, the boy destined to end the age of demons. The one called Illidan Stormrage. So, pretty big lore reveals there.
For real?
Yeah. So, both with the Naru tied to Elune and how, Illidan is now someone that's very important to the proceedings, and he's both light and shadow. He's not fully evil. And yeah, as we mentioned, Chronicles and the Illidan novel do touch upon some of this lore as well. But yeah, that is a spoiler.
I've been saying that for a while, though, that I thought that this whole expansion was going to be like Illidan's kind of redemption story. Yeah. Which, if we're already getting this whole, he's not really bad, he's just kind of bad, but he's also kind of good, guys. It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. So, this is only one quest, though. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more surrounding it. So, yeah, right now you have to be 110 to access it. I believe you have to unlock all the Pillars of Creation, which means that you do, the major quests in each zone to access it.
Yeah. I'm going to remove this spoiler tag.
Okay, you can talk about the unicorns.
Okay, all right. So, guys, okay, so I'm going to show my age on this one, but, when I was in high school, YouTube wasn't a thing. It straight up, it wasn't I didn't know about YouTube. No, YouTube straight up was not a thing when I was in high school. I think YouTube came out in, 2007 or late 2006. And one of the very first YouTube videos that I was ever introduced to it. I feel like the original place I saw it was E-Bomb's World, but one of the very first like viral videos that everybody knew was Charlie the Unicorn, which was one of the weirdest videos on the internet ever, but it was like, it was our life in college. It was our whole life. And in Legion, there is a Charlie the Unicorn reference. And if you haven't watched the Charlie the Unicorn video, I would highly recommend that you do so, because it's hilarious. And, well, I think it's hilarious, but check out the Charlie the Unicorn reference that is in Legion. This is a quest that is in Ajuna, and you have to kill 2 evil unicorns to loot Charlie's kidney and gain artifact power. Oh, this is very loud. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. This is so loud. I turned it down.
So yeah, they're going to the special mountain.
Yep. Oh my god, this area is so pretty. It's really sad that there's a dead Charlie right there. This is so sad.
There he is.
It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie. We're going to Candy Mountain. Charlie. Oh my god, they're so good, and they're sinister and devious. Oh my god, their fight animations are so beautiful.Ey're so graceful.
I know.
They like hop around like beautiful little unicorns. So you kill these 2 guys.
Yep.
And then you go over. Oh, die unicorn. There he goes. He's dead now. And then once you've murdered them, once you've murdered the evil unicorns, you can go and you can loot Charlie's liver, which is artifact power that you can apply to your artifact weapon. So, enchanted sunrunner kidney. It's not right, Perk. It's the best thing ever, but it's awful. So good. I don't know how old everybody in our chat is, because if anybody is like, because I'm 28. Well, I'm almost 28. I'll be 28 in like a week. But you know, like I think you're about a year or 2 older than me. So this, we know all about Charlie the Unicorn. Like this was like there didn't used to be multiple viral videos. There was like 3. There's like literally 3 viral videos. And
back in the day,
this was a big deal, and it's really. I feel really excited that that's going to be in Legion. It's the dumbest thing ever. It was super
popular when I shared it, so I think a lot of people are in.
Well, I think that's
so old. Like back in my day, here's this reference.
Someone in chat just said, so we don't get a unicorn mount. That you actually can get those unicorns as mounts. I believe it's all through the prestige system in PvP.
Yeah.
Which is actually a good thing, because the prestige system in PvP is not based on skill.
You have to stick with it.
Yeah, it's just dedication. Yeah. It's just dedication, which is really good for people like me who want that unicorn and are garbage. And they're garbage. Okay, so this is another super exciting thing. This week, Wowhead launched a new site feature that is the wardrobe collection tool. And what this does is it scans... Well, okay, so there's, first off, you have to verify your character on Wowhead. I know this because I just did this today. I'm like, Perk, what am I doing wrong? So there's 2 ways you can do this. The first way is by logging into Wowhead via your Battle.net account, because then your characters will be automatically verified. The second way is to put in your character's name. You'll go to their profile, you click verify, then you'll have to go in and it'll tell you, like, remove your chest piece or remove your boots, you know what I mean? And then once you do that, it'll verify your character. Once your character is verified, you need to have the Wowhead client downloaded. You load that up, you log it in, you make sure that the upload profile data is checked. Log into WoW on the character that you want to see, open your bank, open your void storage, look at all your gear, exit out, upload that data from the Wowhead profiler tool to Wowhead. There's no lag, it's instant, and then you can go into this new wardrobe tool and you will see what your wardrobe collection is kind of going to look like in Legion. So it's really, really cool.
And the cool part is that this works for multiple characters. So, like, if you have a mage and a priest, if you log both characters, you can see what items from your priest are eligible for your mage to have. And this also covers things like quests. I know there's some confusion over what quest items count, but, like, you know, if you have a plate user that took a plate item, all your other plate users can use that item. It doesn't mean, though, sadly, that your mage has unlocked the cloth version of that item.
Yeah, which is okay, because if we have multiple alts, like, I'm just saying, like, all you have to do is have head.
Oh, yeah, I agree, but a lot of people have given feedback on the tool, like, oh, like, my quest item doesn't show up, and it's like, oh, well, actually, you just don't get that quest
Do
item.
you know what is strange about that, though? Is that... So, leveling up back in the day, like I'm talking like Burning Crusade days, one of the things that I was taught as a new player was, you know, a lot of times quest gear isn't very good. The gear that you're going to want to equip is out of dungeons or, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Yeah. So I was always told to hover over your quest gear, see how much it sells for, and just take the most expensive piece, which is almost always plate. Well, it didn't used to show you. So I used to always just take plate or the weapon or the shield. Now, like, I think that was an update in, like, MoP, honestly. Was that right? Yeah. So, like, but before you couldn't see. So I used to always take the plate thing so that I could sell it. So I can't wait to see what happens on my druid because they're not actually going to know what I took, right? They're just going to give me the leather items.
Right.
But that's hilarious because I didn't take any of those leather items. It's been problematic for me. Like on my mage, for instance, there was an item that I wanted that was like a crown with like stones that out of Bladestorm.
I think I know which one. Yeah.
No, Bladespire. Where's Blade's Edge Mountains. Yeah, okay. So in Blade's Edge Mountains, there's a quest to get this item.
Oh, the little dots that float at the top.
And it's like these little stones that float around. And like that's like one of the there's a couple other ways to get it. I ended up getting it from somebody off the auction house for like an exorbitant amount of gold because it was the BOE version. But other than the BOE version, that's the only way to like guaranteed get it. And I had done the quest and taken the freaking plate item like 6 years ago. So it's really, really funny. Regarding the person in chat that said, don't you unlock every item's look upon quest completion? No. You will. Maybe going forward you will, but as far...
Like, there's a choice between, like, boots and a shirt and a chest piece that you can equip. Like, choosing one will let you unlock the other appearance that you can equip, but you won't unlock... if it was, like, a cloth robe, you don't unlock that appearance.
Yeah, so if you're a mage, just as an example, if there's 2 cloth items, or say there's a back... and boots, you know what I mean? You'll get all the appearances that are eligible on that character, but like a paladin won't unlock everything under. They'll only unlock plate because otherwise it wouldn't be super fair. Particularly...
Yeah, plate users would be like...
Yeah, there would be no point. If you were a transmog fiend, you'd just go do lore master on a warrior and you'd be done. Right. But what's really interesting about this is that, keep in mind, a lot of old quest gear that was mail was made into plate because now mail or plate wearers don't start by wearing mail. They start by wearing plate in Legion. So you're going to see like a lot of that old quest gear that maybe you got on a hunter is no longer mail. Well, I guess you would have gotten leather then too, because that's how they're backdating all of this. So it's going to be really interesting, all said and done, to see who gets what with those types of changes with mail and plate.
Yeah, so we've actually tried to show that in the tool. Like, we got a list of items that we're switching and tried to have the tool take that into account so you wouldn't be as surprised when the pre-patch hits. And we also try to take class restrictions into account. For example, if you have a tier chess piece and you can get a non-tier version of that same chess piece, your alts won't have that appearance. Like, you need to have looted that not class-specific item, that actual item for the appearance to unlock across all the characters who can use it.
That was the only, like, I went in through and I was actually looking at my void storage, looking at my bank, looking at my character, and out of all of the stuff that I had, there was only one piece that didn't flag in the Wowhead transmog.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
But I was really impressed by that. I'm not like complaining. It was like the only reason I even noticed it's because it's something I use a lot, and I think the reason it didn't flag is because it's the exact same appearance as a hunter tier. So I think
it thought it was hunter tier.
I think it thought it was hunter tier because that's the only thing I can really think of. But that was literally in my enormous, and I have a big transmog collection. In my whole transmog collection, it was only like one piece that didn't flag, and this is a brand new tool. Like, that's super impressive. So, you did a good job. You did a good job. So if you want to check that out, you should definitely go to wowhead.com/wardrobe. If you like transmog, this is really, really cool.
Follow the instructions, though.
Yeah, don't be like Panzer, who for 2 days didn't follow the instructions. Like, oh, maybe there's just lag. But it's actually super, super easy. It's not complicated. You just have to do, it's 2 steps. It's like 2 steps.
Yeah, and if you've used Wowhead for, like, a contest in the past, or if you're already tracking things like toys or followers, you're already set because you've already like verified the character and you're used to, logging on and then uploading data via the client.
Well, and the client's really simple too. It's not even something that's like installed. It like is one of those like, I'm like running over here, but I'm not fully installed. You can just delete me whenever you want. It's super easy to use. Just read the directions. Don't be like me. Don't be like Dancer. Speaking of low-level things that are going on, we just talked about the male plate changes. They also added some quality of life changes in Legion, which were discussed a few weeks ago on the Legion developer stream, but they actually are going to implement them in Legion, which includes things like reduced bonus to out-of-combat health regeneration for players under level 20, reduced player damage at low levels for combat pacing. Level 1 to 10 enemies actually will deal more damage than they do now. There's also dynamic respawns, which I'm assuming that is talking about how when you're like in, say, Ragefire Chasm, you won't spawn out in Timbuktu, you'll actually spawn at the beginning of the instance.
That, it's talking about the enemy spawns, but yeah, they changed that too.
So they changed that too.
They said that the spawns are readily available during times of high player traffic.
Oh.
So like when that Hearthstone promotion hit and people were lining up to kill a mob, that should no longer be an issue. Yep. But yeah, they also said that if you die in a dungeon, you now release at the entrance of the dungeon. So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's super cool. So that's good on both parts, because it used to be that like before an expansion launched, they'd like up the respawns of everything, and then there was this weird period of time where it was too fast and it was really annoying before they patched it in and made it slower. But now that's going to adjust just based on the population of the area, which is super cool. Also, any quest bosses, so any named guys that you have to kill for a quest, are now multi-tap. So if somebody else is killing them, you don't have to wait for it to respawn, which is like a huge, awesome change. Because I remember, like when I was the new player, which was a long time ago, but when I was the new player, I remember like frantically whispering people like, invite me to your group, because you'd be waiting like 10 minutes for the respawn. So that's really fantastic. They also acknowledge that with these changes, like, yes, they're making progress, but they still need to do more work in the level up experience in Legion. And we talked about this a little bit last week about the possibility of maybe them doing scaling zones. And you know, this is the dumbest thing ever, but I like had this really deep think about this. Like I did some deep thinking. Right. I'm very concerned about PvP servers if they do scaling leveling zones.
Oh, yeah, I wonder how
I hadn't thought about that until, like, later on I was, like, talking about it casually with someone else, and it was, like, it popped in my head, and I couldn't get rid of it. Because right now, there are some pretty, I feel like on either faction, there are some places that you know, when you get to this area, you're getting ganked. Like, that's just how it is. Particularly, like, when you come out of the Dark Portal, and you're level, like, 58, 59, that's a huge ganking zone. The Barrens is a huge ganking zone. There's that area in Arathi Highlands. I can't even remember. It's been so long, but there's like a few iconic. You know why? That's not anymore though. I'm literally thinking about before you could queue for BGs. But before you could queue for BGs, that was like awful. Like because there'd be all these low level people standing there, and Alliance would just come by and like. You're like level, what would you have to be, 25? You're like level 25, 35? It might have been 35.
30, 40, I think. Yeah, Warsong was the 20 range.
Yeah, Warsong was the 20, Crossroads. But like there were a few places that used to be huge for getting ganked. And like I know somebody in chat just said nobody's getting ganked because World PvP is dead. I don't necessarily think that's true. You have to remember we're at a very low...
it takes like one person to exploit things, then all of a sudden, like...
Yeah, I think right now we're in a lull of the expansion, and not only that, but this certainly isn't a time where people are like, let me level my so-and-so in the mid-20s. Like, that's a very, like, beginning of the expansion type thing to do, or, even a few months ago, that would have been something people are doing, but right now I feel like a lot of it is just, like, we're winding down. People have been in Hellfire Citadel for 13 months now. The grind is real, you know what I mean? So I don't think that's necessarily a fair assessment, because especially being that in Legion, there's like tons of things that make you go do world PvP.
If you want to. Like, there's an area with goats that's just, like, you fight people on goats.
Yeah, and not only that, but there's the goat area, there's the underbelly of Dalaran, and then there's all the world quests that send you out to do world PvP as well. So, I mean,
you're not forced to do those for your objectives, but, like, they exist. Like, it's encouraging.
No, it's fantastic.
Like, that's on people's minds.
Is there anything even like that now in Warlords? I know Ashran was, like, supposed to be that.
I mean, but that's instance.
Yeah, but it was instance, so it didn't really, like, give that... You know what would be awesome, though, seriously, is if that wasn't instanced. If Ashran wasn't instanced, I feel like just in general it would be better.
Right. I mean, I guess if you were on, like, a server that was very predominantly one faction, it would...
Well... Yeah, but I would
That's
hope
fun.
I would hope that at a certain point they'd be like, okay, too many like I don't know how that would
Maybe
work,
that's why
but
they have an instance. No, I
probably.
get what you're saying. It would be nice to just like run into Ashran and
Well,
find a
like you
bunch of
think of
other people
something
versus a
like
few.
in Burning Crusade, we had a lot of places like that, like Hala, and there was the area in
The Bone
Hellfire.
Wastes,
Yep,
like the Auchendoon area, and then Zanger had
yep,
the two
yep.
spires.
And then there was also the area in Hellfire Peninsula where you had to capture the towers. There was a lot of
Yeah.
world PvP stuff in Burning Crusade, and I feel like that was. I mean, I was also on a PvP server, so maybe that's part of the reason that that's a more
Right.
vivid memory for me. But Burning Crusade was tough times, man. You'd be going to queue up for like Magtheridon's lair, and well, not queue up, but you'd be going to the summoning stone.
Yeah,
People
like I have to get my tower along the way.
yeah, it was like a thing. You'd be like, oh, well, let's all do this because we're here, and hopefully we'll see more of that in Legion with increased rewards and stuff and things encouraging you to
Yeah.
get out and do stuff. But I
I also wanted to touch on one of the angle how there was like quality of life changes, but there was also some of the changes were made to make leveling slower or harder, and people seem very happy about this because it's what they were talking about at the dev live blog. Like,
yeah.
Like it shouldn't just be a thing where you're invincible and you just run around and then you skip the story and you don't really know what you're doing, but you just kill everything perfectly.
I would still argue that they need to nerf experience in dungeons. I think right now
they did something. They didn't put it in the blue post, but I think earlier today or yesterday we covered it. And let's see, they said opening post. Oh yeah, they said one additional bullet point that should have been in the hotfix is we reduced the experience from the dungeon scenario objectives for classic dungeons.
Whoa.
So, dungeons are meant to be rewarding, but zoning into dead mines and completing 5 quests, plus the kill experience for everything, plus a couple more quests worth of experience was overkill.
It really was. Well, and that's how everybody levels now. Because it's not... It's if you're trying to level for the sake of quickness, that's the best way to do it. But they have such a good point with, now there's boosts, so we want to make leveling like a fun experience again. And I love the idea of scaling zones, I really do, because I love the idea of actually completing a zone and having it be rewarding to do so. I wonder how that will affect PvP servers. But it might be
maybe
better.
That's why we haven't seen more yet.
It might be
there's
better.
something
It might not be worse. I mean, honestly, if you didn't have to go to these like crazy hubs, if you could just stay in areas that you could finish all the quests in like Eastern Kingdoms and just do all of Eastern Kingdoms, and you would never even have to take the Zeppelin to Kalimdor. Although I guess some people don't take Zeppelins. My sister-in-law. Oh, okay. Moving on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I get really excited. So we're talking about low level, and we know that there's going to be a lot of new players coming. Which public service announcement.
Be nice.
Yeah, public service announcement on June 10th. We are going to see. I would say between June 10th and like June 20th, I think we're going to see an influx of new players or returning players or maybe casual players who haven't played very much.
Right.
And this is a good thing, guys. This is a good thing. Please make it a welcome community. If somebody whispers you and they're having trouble and they want help, or if you see someone and there's something you can offer to help them, and I'm not talking about like gold or anything, but if you see someone who just is clearly struggling, like whisper them and just be like, hey man, this is how you do this thing. Just so you know, good luck. I don't know. I just feel like if we could make this a welcome community for those types of people, it would be a much better reputation for us to have than like all these new players come and they just leave feeling like really toxic and like it wasn't a good experience. Make it a good experience. Treat other players like you would want to be treated. Speaking of new players, transition. The World of Warcraft website has been revamped. Particularly, the most notable part for me at least was where you go if you're a new player. So I took a little video of it so you could see it, but it's super cool. It's like this B-roll footage that rolls behind the play for free button, and this
they have some Legion zones in there. That's cool.
Yeah, this is the new website that you're going when you sign up to be a new player, and I think it's really pretty. I like actually thought about emailing Blizzard and be like, so can I you got any of that B-roll footage, because I really like that. It's like very well done. I wonder if Lore did it.
It looks really cool. I mean, my guess would be they've been revamping all the sites, like Heroes of the Storm, and like Overwatch looks really different than the original site. So my guess is that they they have some like big marketing plan going on.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like all their websites look really good, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that they revamped
The
that
one
one in
thing
general.
I would say is that there aren't very many clickable links at the top, like a boundless realm or the spoils of war or relentless conflict. And I feel like having links there would be helpful. So if someone wants to learn more, they can click on the image and get to that part of the
Yeah.
existing new player guide.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. There's always,
Yeah.
I mean, there's always room for improvement and everything, but I think
Yeah.
it looks a lot more modern and it looks really like enticing. I would click on play free. Like as soon as I saw that, I'd be
Yeah.
like, done, I'm in. I like how it
Yeah.
also kind of gives you that subliminal, like, you were meant for this world. Oh my god, I was. I would have been okay if they had left all the garrison footage out, though. I mean, they had footage of a garrison and they had footage of Ashran. Like, no one's going to be going to either of those places very soon.
Especially, yeah, I feel it should be more like a Legion updated screen or,
Well,
like Stormwind and
Orgrimmar,
Yeah.
or like Dalaran, or even like
the movie
Shattrath.
locations.
Just like iconic zones, as
Yeah.
opposed to maybe like somebody riding their was that a celestial steed into the garrison? Let's take a look.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It might be done with us.
Okay,
I've
it can be
angered
done
the
with
video.
us.
There we go. Oh, no. Oh, she's riding Invincible. Wow. Well, to be fair, Invincible and the Sparkle Pony have the same model. They have the same skeleton, but I shouldn't confuse those two mounts. That's rude. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. And I hope to see some new players because, I mean, I've been trying really hard to dance around. I did a whole review on the movie without doing any spoilers. Which I was very
awesome.
I was very proud of that because
Yeah.
it's really hard to talk about something and give objective opinions without giving anything away. And I was waiting for someone in the comments to be like, oh, you spoiled this for me or you spoiled that for me. Thousands of comments, not a single comment about me spoiling anything. I don't even care what they said. There were several comments telling me to kill myself. That's okay. I didn't spoil anything. Like, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just glad I didn't spoil anything. So I was really proud of that. But seeing the movie, I do think, like, there will be people who are intrigued. And if more so, I feel like it's going to make people return. I don't necessarily think it's going to be this whole, oh my god, there's like this wave of brand new players.
Right.
But I do think we're going to see a lot of people who are either casual or maybe are taking a break. The timing is so good. I mean, we're seeing the pre-patches coming out. We're expecting it in the next couple months. So it's just a really great time to be alive.
It's a little off that people might have to learn how to play the game and then it's going to get massively revamped in the pre-patch. But I think that if you're an existing player, this is a good time to like familiarize yourself again with the game. You know, maybe make an alt, work on some stuff in preparation for the pre-patch. Like maybe you didn't play for a couple of years, so Hellfire Citadel will be totally new, which is hey, like, you know, positive players, you know, being naive and wide-eyed. That you know, it's good for the game.
Oh, my guild's...
But yeah, we should do Overwatch and then back to more movies.
Okay, so Overwatch launched on the 24th. I have barely been able to play because I'm the busiest person in the entire world, and it makes me, like, so depressed. You have no idea. Like, seeing everybody else, and they're, like, level 20 and 30, and I'm, like, level 10 because I've only been able to play on stream. I've had, like, no time outside of that. But my life is going to get so much less chaotic the second week of June. I'm just, like, looking forward to, like, sleeping and eating. That's going to be so great. But Overwatch did come out, and Overking, our best buddies Overking, they have a whole bunch of strategy guides as well as guides for heroes. The hero guides are phenomenal. They're written in a very TLDR style. They're not like, oh, here's a wall of text. They're broken up really well. They, right in the get-go, they say, like, here are the counters, here are who you counter, and here's the important things to playing this character, and this is where this hero excels. So if you're just new to Overwatch, if you didn't play during the beta and you're looking for some help, Overking is a great resource for that. We also found out about the Pharah Funko Pop, which is going to be an exclusive.
Yeah, you called it how there was like the one exclusive one. It wasn't just the pre-announced ones. They need a Warcraft movie one though.
I'm so surprised there hasn't been one yet.
I know. Are we still getting one?
I don't know. I'm wondering almost if it's going to be... So, like, I know Game of Thrones, they had a collector's edition of Season 1 that came packaged with pops. So I kind of have a feeling that the Director's Cut collector's edition will come with, like Golden Garona, or, you know, Garona is in her Horde armor in her pop, so maybe it'll be Garona in her Alliance armor. She's definitely in Horde armor because she has the little hair piece.
Yes.
So I don't know if maybe it'll be like the variant of Garona. There's a bunch of characters that they could have done. Why doesn't Khadgar have a pop? That honestly bothers me more than anything.
So Khadgar and Medivh could have pops. They could be
it could
special
be like
2-buddy edition.
Yeah. So well, in the Game of Thrones one was Daenerys and a dragon, or Daenerys and 2 dragons. I can't remember. But so I'm kind of thinking that the 6th one in the series will be packaged with the collector's edition, but. That's a tinfoil hat theory. But yes, there will be a Farah Funko Pop, so Justice will reign from, like above, if you hold it above you. She's really, really cute. She's really well detailed. I'm out of room on my pop shelf, and I don't know what to do, because since running out of room, I've collected 8 more pops, and I'm going to get all the Overwatch ones, so that's another 6. I currently have 14 pops with nowhere to put them, so I don't know if I'm going to get another shelf.
You should get another shelf.
Okay. Thanks for the
that reminds me, SDCC is coming up, so we're going to see all of that Blizzard merchandise again.
I know. Unrelated, did you see the Monster High doll that I sent you? That's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive this year? She's a marionette.
The High one is cool, too.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
We need to get on
that.
Unrelated. We'll work on that. There's also a bunch of new Overwatch merchandise, tons from the Blizzard Gear Shop, from Jinx. Jinx, we do have a coupon for. If you use code Wowhead, you will get free shipping on anything Overwatch. There's also the baby Winston that you get at GameStop. There's tons of...
like actual baby Winston. Like plushy baby Winston.
Oh, yeah, there is the plushy baby Winston, too. But there also, if you buy... Overwatch at GameStop, you get like a little figure of Baby Winston. But there's the plushie, there's lots of shirts on Amazon, the Gear Shop,
I was really impressed by that, because Blizzard did the shirts on Amazon, and they're stocked on Prime, so you get them really quickly. And it was just sort of neat how they have a line on the Gear Shop, and they have a whole
different line.
Yeah, I thought that was really...
I really like that. I really like anytime I can use Amazon Prime, because... I'm one of those people, they get me, man. Like, I'm like, oh, well, I bought Amazon Prime, so I might as well buy everything on Amazon, because I got to get my money's worth, and then I buy things I don't need. Like all of those spray shirts, which I haven't purchased, but probably will. Because you know what I need in my life is more shirts. More shirts. So, yeah, check out Overking. New merchandise everywhere, pretty much. And there's a Farah Funko Pop coming. Also... if you are interested at all in Overwatch lore, I started an Overwatch lore series. The first video in the series is called The Rise and Fall of Overwatch, which is the lore of Overwatch as an organization, dating from before they fought the Omnics and the Omnic Crisis to present day in the game. So I think it's a good starting point, and from there we're going to branch off and talk about individual heroes as well as maps and how those maps relate to the story. So if you're interested in that, it's on my YouTube channel. Shameless promotion.
It was a good video.
Thanks.
I watched it.
Oh, thank you. I worked really hard on it because I was trying to make it short. It's really hard to make something like that not super long. And I think it only ended up being like 8 minutes, which is pretty good for the amount that I packed in there. Speaking of pretty good, the Warcraft movie. Transition. So if you haven't seen it, I did do a spoiler-free review that also addressed a lot of the poor reviews that we saw coming out about the Warcraft movie. Which
that just ignored the embargo.
Yeah.
Which is why we're suspicious. Like, it's one thing to have a review, but then if you, like, rush to break an embargo to post it, it's more like, are you on a bandwagon?
Well, and it seemed very... Well, what got me the most was that there was... So, Forbes, back in November, when the trailer debuted at BlizzCon, Forbes did an entire article about how trash the trailer was, which is so dumb because we've talked about this a million times. Trailers are marketing. That's why you see trailers, and they're all over the board. They're not... And that goes for every movie, not just the Warcraft movie. I mean, the very first Star Trek... the Star Trek preview that we've seen all over everything, the first one had the Beastie Boys in it. It's a super serious and dark movie, and it literally had the Beastie Boys in the first trailer. That was it before every movie ever. So it's really unfair to, like... Anyways, so they do this whole article trashing like a 2-minute preview. Then, when all of these sites break embargo to give, like, spoilery reviews where they talk about specific things that happened, which you were allowed to do a review after it released internationally with no spoilers. And these came out, like, 2 days before the international launch, so they're coming out before they're legally supposed to. I think they should all get in trouble, but whatever. And then on top of all of that, Forbes then did an article based on 3 other people's negative reviews titled, like, the Warcraft movie isn't breaking video game stigma. You didn't see it. How, as a journalist, are you writing an article like about a movie you haven't seen? Because
and some of the details were off too when people were like, like, here's my nerd credentials, like, this is why I'm qualified to say that it sucked, and then they would say something that didn't really make sense about World of Warcraft.
Well, and a lot of things that bothered me was, one of the things I talked about was Kotaku wrote a very negative review. Yeah. And, I'm a jerk, so I did a little research on the guy who wrote it. And he is a former WoW player who in recent times has like trash talked World of Warcraft and actively plays just about every MMORPG that is not made by Blizzard. So I feel like it's fine if they don't want to have somebody who plays WoW review. I get that. Like, I get not wanting to have a fan perspective. But why would you pick someone who does not like it? And people are like, oh, he's a former WoW player. Yeah, that's like saying your ex-girlfriend reviewed you. Like, it's like, she's not going to say nice things. You know what I mean? Well, maybe she is. Maybe she's sweet as a peach. I don't know. But, wait, neither of us have ex-girlfriends. Let me just, that was a bad example. I was kind of talking to a man that wasn't here. Or a lesbian. I don't know how you live your life. But, like, it's just such an odd thing that they would have, like, somebody who actively dislikes the franchise currently, and then like if you go to his Twitter, he's like saying how wonderful Final Fantasy and Destiny are. So it's like, was he ever going to give the movie a chance? And his review was nasty too. It was like, oh, I'd rather wipe in molten core for 2 hours. Like, no, you wouldn't.
Right, and it's like molten core in 2 hours is actually pretty fast if you were in the 10th anniversary of it.
Yeah, like that's actually wonderful. So it's like, that was really strange to me that of the entire staff of Kotaku, that's who they would choose to review the movie. Right. Then the guy
it's also like someone's opinion versus someone that, like at a major publication like the New York Times or like the Los Angeles Times, like someone that studies film theory. And like I understand that maybe those people like might not like it as well. I mean, I don't think any of them broke embargo,
but none of them have written reviews yet because they're not supposed to.
Right, so, like, they didn't write reviews yet, and I feel like, like, at least those people, like, their sole job is to, like, write film reviews, and it's not just like, oh, find the person that likes MMOs and have them, know.
And then there's the guy from The Wrap. The Wrap. I don't even know what that website is. Like, it's not anything I've ever heard of.
Exactly, that's what I meant. It's not like, oh, this is a source of...
Yeah, so the guy from The Wrap, like, he was super rude, and he was also, I'm really sick of the whole, like, it's a video game movie, it can't be good. I'm not saying, oh my god, it was a life-changing movie, this is my favorite movie of all time, 10 out of 10, everything was perfect. Right. Like, very honestly, I said, there were some things that I didn't like, there were some choices that could have been made differently, but I do not believe that someone would walk in, sit down, watch that movie for 2 hours, whether they played WoW or not, and walk out and being like, that was a pile of garbage, because it was a very entertaining, enjoyable movie, and I do think that it really made you think about the complexity of a conflict like that. And I don't believe that anybody would have gone in there and to say like, oh, I would have rather seen the Super Mario movie again. Like, now you're just being nasty, and if you want people to take you seriously, you can't speak in hyperbole.
Right. I mean, like, at least the tone should be professional, which is where I think more, like, mainstream publications or sites that have, like, a dedicated, arts and entertainment section, at least that they have criticism, it will be more measured and it won't, just try to be outraged.
Edgy and negative. There was also an article by The Guardian that said it was racist. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. It's like, this was done years before the current politics.
But, like, I don't understand.
Together.
What? Like, I don't understand how they were like, oh, these dark-skinned people. You mean orcs? Orcs in their green skin. Are you talking about orcs? Because they're not people. Like, what?
I also feel that that goes against what we've heard with the movie press and how, like, the original script, like, that got rejected because it was too cartoonish, how one side was good and the other side was bad. Yeah. And the point of it was to show that, like, there was characters on both sides that acted purely, and there were characters on both sides that, acted badly and were fueled by power.
Oh, yeah. So, absolutely.
I mean, that's the opposite of what the Guardian...
And there were absolutely, like, super evil people, or not just people, but there were super evil characters on both sides.
Exactly.
And there were also super duper heroes on both sides, and then there were superheroes in the middle. Like, I get it really triggered,
that's what publicity's trying to do. Like, the publicity isn't, like, holding up the humans as some amazing example, and then it's like, oh, secretly they're equal. It's like, no, like, there was this USA Today clip today about Dalaran and how noble he is, and it's like, okay, yeah, like, they're showing the Horde and the Alliance as both having equally,
Well,
respected, awesome leaders.
they also showed a complexity that, like, and a lot of people are saying, like, oh, there wasn't enough time for character development, which I would semi-agree with, because it was a 2-hour movie, and there were, in the main cast, there was a solid 5 or 6 main characters, which is a lot. And then there were a lot of, like, side characters, too. But I don't think it was particularly hard to follow in the way that it was presented. Granted, I'm coming from a biased standpoint. But there were also characters that were good guys who made bad choices and bad judgment calls. Like, we've heard about, like, Orgrim's struggle of, like, I'm loyal to orcs, but I'm loyal to my friend Duratan, and I am having an internal conflict because those two, theories are not matching up. So, and you see that on both sides, and I think... I don't know. It's just really upsetting to see how to heart people are taking the reviews, like to the point where people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going and seeing it. That's trash."
Right, but on the other hand, I would say, is this the notes? We can skip around the notes. I've read various people saying that like the fan reviews are way different than the critic reviews, which you addressed in your video as well. How like people didn't like Star Wars, they didn't like all these major films. And if you go on to film sites, the fans are saying that they liked it. It was so much fun. They want to see it again. And there is this discrepancy between the early critics and the fans. And I know Duncan Jones has been tweeting out tons of people saying how much they like the film. It's not cherry picking when he's retweeting, like dozens of people.
Yeah. Well, and like also, I mean, it's really unfair because like, why would somebody with a negative review, like, why would you, if somebody tweeted me, okay, I'm a bad example because I love to put haters on blast, so I'm a terrible example. But for the most part, like if you're kind of prominent on Twitter, you're not going to retweet people saying nasty things about you unless your name's Panzer and you're laughing at them. But I mean, you wouldn't do that, but... That
Rob Kaczynski did something similar, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, I feel like we are a similar cut of thread, me and Rob. But I don't know. It just seems really. Of course, a fan of the game is going to be biased and like the movie better. But I truly believe. Look, I'm going to take Nick's mom to go see the movie because she's a big fan of movies in general. If there is a movie and there is a fight scene anywhere in the movie, she wants to see that movie. I don't know if I've ever heard the woman say she doesn't like a movie. It's so strange. But so I'm definitely going to take her to go see it because like she obviously like has seen all the hype that I've had about it, and I'm really excited more than anything to take people who haven't seen it with me, who haven't like experienced the lore and stuff, because what a fun conversation that's going to be over dinner afterwards. I can fill in gaps, they can ask me questions, I can help.
Like maybe they'll notice details we didn't notice because we were too busy looking at
Easter eggs,
the obvious references and Easter eggs for us.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I don't think that just because you don't know the lore that you would walk out feeling lost. And that was one of the things when I saw it, I went to, like, a press screening with a bunch of, like, real press, and then me, and then there was Yogg's cast, and there were a couple other people that I'm not sure I'm allowed to say if they were there. But, yeah, so, like, I went with a few people that I've known, and of the guys that I went with in Yogg's cast, like, I sat next to them because I went by myself, so I, like, no one to sit with. So I, like, sat next to them, and I want to say two of the guys in the group of 4 or 5 had never played WoW, any of the Warcraft RCSs. They were completely coming at it from a noob standpoint. One of them said it was kind of hard to follow, but to be fair, he was also jet lagged and hadn't slept in 32 hours. So
if he liked it in spite of that, that's
and
good.
He still said he liked it. And the other one said it wasn't hard to follow at all. I also asked the girls from Universal that we talked to this morning. Neither of them have had any experience with the game. They both like the movie. They have no reason to lie to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if they like the movie or not.
Yeah.
So like, it's okay to not say that it's 10 out of 10, but it's not fair to say that it's, 1 out of 10. Like, that's just ridiculous. That's insulting, and it makes you sound... It's like I said, if you want to be taken seriously, you can't speak in hyperbole.
Even if it's confusing, you can appreciate all the effort that went into, like, the costumes and the weapons.
Oh, and the CGI is phenomenal as well. It's like one of my critiques was that I don't usually care. I don't care for 3D movies. It's just a preference of mine. And so, like, one of my critiques was that I wish that I had seen it in 3D and that I thought the first 5 minutes or so was a little disorienting in 3D. But the 3D is done very well. It's not, like, tacky. They're not, like, reaching out at you. And, there's not embers flying playing out, and
Yeah.
at the end, the 3D is the best because the credits. So the credits are super pretty. I know that's really dumb and like
I like when they do special.
But
touches
they
like
did. That. It was like a mage was casting a spell, and then it would like explode into like the name of the person with like runes and stuff all around it.
Cool.
And the 3D on that was phenomenal because it felt like it was from behind you. It felt like the mage was behind you, like, and you almost like saw it like shoot. I can't describe it. It's really cool. Stick around till the credits. The credits are really good. But yeah, I don't like. It's like I'm not sitting here claiming that this movie is going to change your life and this is going to be your favorite movie ever. But the reviews that are saying it's awful are completely unfair. Like they're completely unfair, and it's people coming in that like. I don't think a review from someone who actively dislikes World of Warcraft or Blizzard is a fair review. Is pretty much my argument. But
and even so, if someone says they hate it, you're free to like it, as you gave with your examples in game. I'm so used to saying in game. The examples you gave in your video of all these movies that so many people like that were commercial successes.
Yeah, like Gladiator, Fight Club got horrible reviews. Fight Club got such bad reviews. It was to the point they were calling it like violence porn. Like Fight Club got horrible reviews opening weekend, and we're not even on opening weekend, mind you. All the reviews we've seen have broken embargo. Like they're not even supposed to be out yet. But Fight Club got bad reviews. The Wizard of Oz got bad reviews. They said it was like super gratuitous and that they only cared about this Technicolor and that the whole thing was just stupid and flashy and had no story. The Wizard of Oz is one of the most iconic movies of all time. I know, like, I'm personally not a big fan of the movie Forrest Gump, but it obviously is a lot of people's, like, a well-loved movie in a lot of people's hearts. Forrest Gump got terrible reviews. Star Wars didn't get, like, across-the-board terrible reviews, but someone from the New York Times or the Los Angeles Times, like, gave it a super nasty review that was, like, the only good thing about this is that it makes you feel kind of like a kid again, but it's presented like it's this serious thing, and it's not serious. It's really stupid, and the only people who would like this is children, and da-da-da. The Sixth Sense got terrible reviews, and it was really good. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of movies that got bad reviews, and it doesn't mean they're going to be bad movies. Yeah. I'm done ranting. I'm sorry. I could go on about this. I get really upset.
We should talk about the stuff you can get in-game now.
Yes! Okay, so if you log on to any character, and this can be a starter account, you can be level 1 or level 20 or whatever, you will get 2 items on a Horde character, 2 items on an Alliance character. The Horde items are Gul'dan's Staff as well as Duratan's Axe, and the Alliance items are the Stormwind Shield and the Stormwind Sword, which they're awesome. Like, I'm not an Alliance player. All my characters are Horde.
They are super detailed and cool.
Super awesome. Like, they really blow a lot of the gear that's in-game out of the water. The Gul'dan staff is amazing. Like, I'm actually
Also, warriors can dual-wield it as Fury, which looks hilarious.
That's amazing. I didn't
Because, like, the staff, polearm, transmog.
Well, it makes me so sad because they're amazing. I think you have until, like, July 20th, too. Like, it's pretty far.
August 1st.
August 1st.
Even more time.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I bet I don't like any of my dagger transmogs, and then I'm using a shield, which I prefer to use an offhand because I don't particularly like my shield transmogs either. But so I can't use the staff. I also can't use the axe, and then the shield is Alliance only. Not that I would use it because it's too Alliance-y, but I was really, really bummed at the limitations there, just because if I could have used it, I would have. I really liked the staff a lot. Like, every warlock should use that staff.
I know, and it matches the Blackrock Foundry set really perfectly. And that's like what Gul'dan is basically wearing. It looks so good together.
It is so the staff is so well detailed too. Like when you move around, the skulls like jiggle and shake because they're like tied on, and they have the proper animation for like hanging from a string. So they're really cool. So if you have not gotten them, definitely log on and grab them because they're amazing. I think you have until like July 20th too. Like, it's pretty far.
August 1st.
August 1st.
Even more time.
Yeah. Oh my God. I bet the pre-patch comes before August 1st.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
I bet the pre-patch will come out before August 1st. I don't think they would end a promotion like that before the pre-patch. Tinfoil hat theory.
Speculation.
But we also got some new character spotlights. USA Today is running character highlights each day of this week. We also got a sense of Khadgar being young and sarcastic, as well as Garona's growth, which is funny because those are both things I said in my review as well.
Today was Jeratan, there was Lothar, and why am I blanking on? Oh yeah, Gul'dan was yesterday. There was some like spoilery shots of him doing all his cool, scary drained soul effects.
His drained soul is like, when I saw it on screen, it like, I know this is gonna sound super dramatic, but it kind of like took my breath away a little bit because the CGI is so good, and as he is sucking the life out of this guy, you see him aging. Like, you actually see like his face like sucking in and becoming like emaciated. So when he does it for a second, he goes from someone who's probably like, you know, in his prime, 25, 30, to that when he pulls away, the guy is clearly like in his 50s or 60s, and then like, you know, which is it's already been like leaked, it's out that we don't actually get the backstory on why Garona is a human, and my tinfoil hat theory on that is that, you know, like Gul'dan, before they build the big dark portal, they're able to go through in smaller portals. I think that we know Gul'dan is taking slaves. He's all about that. I think he took a human slave. I think he did some weird things, and then an orc female had this half orc, half human baby, and then I think Gul'dan aged her with drain life. That's how I think she exists. We won't find out until the director's cut, but that's my theory, if anybody's wondering.
It's so dark.
My god. No, Gul'dan is horrifying. And it's funny because I didn't even mention him in my review, and I think it's because I'm a little traumatized and I don't even want to talk about him, because he is like Khadgar or Medivh is like haunting, and he's like, you think about him a lot, and he's like so confusing with his motives and like why he's doing what he's doing, and like, is he good or is he bad? Whose side is he on? Like, what's his deal? Because like, he just alternates constantly between he just can't. He's all over the place. He's chaos incarnate. But like, Gul'dan is just scary. Like, Gul'dan's horrifying. Gul'dan's like the ultimate villain ever. Like, he's so scary in that movie. He looks scary. He sounds scary. His spells are scary. Gul'dan, you scary. Like, it's crazy to think that Daniel Wu plays him too, because he's kind of like this small, not scary dude at all. And
I know, and he has this huge following, and he's this evil person.
Yeah, horrible. Like, so scary.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the War Room Tour video and the movie Q&A that Rob Kaczynski did. We're not showing videos of a lot of this stuff because we know last week we had some copyright issues with one of our clips, and we should be whitelisted now, but we want to be like safe and sorry. We don't want a bunch of spam.
Well, we're also only whitelisted with Universal, so if like Legendary owns the content, like it just I was worried. I didn't want to. Everybody was so mad at me last week.
So the War Room Tour was Rob Kaczynski going on a tour of the armory, and it's cool because, you know, we always loot weapons in games, so there's no real central area that has a bunch of weapons. But now in the movie, there is this cool area, and we saw a lot of close-ups of the Alliance items, like shields and polearms with the lion's head on it. He put on the Stormwind Guard helm, which looks like the Garrison helm Alliance players can get in game. And then there was this movie Q&A on Twitter with Duncan Jones and Rob Kaczynski, and he had some really funny replies. Some of them were video replies. Like, they asked him about his favorite legendary, and he just kept repeating Thunder Fury over and over to the camera like 10 times.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Did you see that? I know we're going to talk about this in a minute, but he did, the Yogg's cast one was super funny too.
Yes, we should talk about that. He had a good humor. He said his favorite raid was Uldor and boss was Yogg. They asked both of them how many movies they wanted to be in the series, and Duncan Jones was like, oh, a trilogy sounds cool, and Rob was like, no. He's like, there needs to be 12 films, like 3 on the orcs, and 3 on the events of Burning Crusade, and then 3 covering Arthas.
Yes! Yes!
And then he's like, then there should be a TV show, and I want to be in all of them.
Oh my god, no, if they did like a Game of Thrones style television show, this honestly would have been better as a miniseries than it would have been as a movie, in my opinion, because all the complaints about the movie could really be summed up with either it's a video game movie and I'm not open-minded enough to allow myself to like it, or I'm a little confused because there were a lot of characters and a lot of things to know in only 2 hours. But if it was done in like a 8-part mini series, they could have put
tune in each
so
week,
much.
and then like all the commercials are just for Blizzard games.
Oh, please, please. Just do it online, Blizzard. It'll get enough views to make it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like, their cinematics. Like, their cinematics get so many views as well.
Oh my god, don't get people started on the cinematics team, because there is also a group of people who are just not liking the movie because it wasn't done by Taryn Gregory.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so they asked about favorite Easter eggs, and they said that there was a Murloc and a meeting stone in Elwyn Forest. And then this one was really funny. Someone tweeted Rob being like, oh, like, my game doesn't work, like, I don't want to pay for movie tickets, like, I hate Activision. And he's like, well, you'll be happy to know that a movie does not work like a video game, and if you pay for the movie, you can actually see the movie.
Oh my god.
He's had some experience dealing
He is
with
clearly from the internet. He's one of us, guys. He's one of us. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's really, really great. I don't know. I'm just so cracked up, like, by... I don't know. I love all of this. I love all of this. I just want to see the movie 100 times, and I would like to dress up in costumes and just be an orc and live my life as I truly should have.
As you mentioned, the Yogscast also was...
Oh my god, so good.
Speaking of people trying to dress up as orcs, they tried... They sort of crashed the set, and... It's just really funny, you know.
Okay, so that's what they were there for. I was there for the press junket. They didn't go to that, which I was super bummed about because I had to go by myself because I didn't.
Right.
And it was literally like a bunch of serious. So I wish I would have vlogged my behind the scenes experience, but I wasn't sure if I was allowed to because once again, I was the most pretentious video game snob of all time. I corrected one person twice. Like, there was this guy from, I don't know, some real magazine or website that thought he was really funny, and he was repeatedly referring to orcs as ogres. And I corrected him, and I was like, you know, like, they're gonna look at you funny. They're not ogres, they're orcs. Ogres are different. And then later on, I heard him do it again, and I was like, I'm not trying to overstep, but, like, they're not gonna take you seriously if you're repeatedly calling orcs ogres, like. And I heard him, like, he went before me for my Rob Kaczynski interview, and I heard him not only call orcs ogres again, because apparently this guy thinks he's really funny, but then he referred to Thrall as mutant baby Shrek. And I was, like, infuriated. Like, sitting outside of this interview room, like, someone hold me back because I'm going to go gank this guy. Like, it's just so disrespectful. Like, whether you personally liked the movie or not, even if you run,
do the
like,
research.
A comedy website, like, I don't really care. It's really bothersome. And then later on, so I also went to a press conference that I was not invited to. That's not a joke. Like, I was supposed to leave. My like, call time was like 1 o'clock, and I was supposed to be gone by 2, and I found out there was a press conference at 3, so I, like, quite literally went and talked to, like, the cameramen and like the technical people that were doing all of the work to make the interviews happen. So I just made friends for about an hour, and then, like, when I saw the cameramen go into this press conference room, I was like, oh, well, I'll just go in there. Sitting literally front row center of a press conference I was not invited to. Nobody kicked me out, though. And I was so angry because they had all the questions were predetermined, right? So, like, they all had to flag their questions with whoever was in charge of this before they were allowed to talk.
Yeah.
This girl stands up and says, so I don't play the game, but, like, my boyfriend plays the game, and it's my understanding that there's no characters in the game, so I'm just wondering how you came up with this whole story.
Oh, no.
That, like,
that's so bad.
This wasn't actually in any of the games, and there are no characters in the game, and I gasped out
sad.
loud. Like, Travis Fimmel, he was sitting, like, right in front of me, and I literally was like, like, horrified. He, like, looked over at me like, take it down a notch. Like, once again, I'm about to go fight someone, like, on this set. I was so upset. Like, you have no idea. And it's funny because when I was walking out, I was, like, chatting with someone before I left, and the publications that were sitting behind me from People magazine and somewhere else were like, oh, we're wondering if we could ask you some questions on some clarification on that question because we heard you gasp and we saw you jump. So who knows? I might actually have a quote in People magazine when they talk about this, because I was so visibly upset by that question that multiple people from these actual media outlets like stopped to ask me what was going on.
I mean, it's doing your research.
Like when she said that, I gasped, and then I was like mumbling to myself, and I'm like, there's like more than 12 books. There's like more than a dozen books. Like, where did you think they just made this up? Do you think they just made this up? I'll make you up. Like, I'm so angry. Like, how could they screen that question and then let it through? Like, you could have opened the Wikipedia page for 30 seconds. Oh my God, I was angry. I was angry. And it's like, you also, like, this is after the interview. So this girl interviewed Rob Kaczynski. She interviewed Duncan Jones. And then she still asked that stupid of a question. I was very angry. Yeah. I was super angry. Sorry. I got intense here. Every time we talk about the Warcraft movie, I am at about a 10 and I should be at a 4. I'm sorry.
Should we talk about good box office news?
Yes. So,
okay.
As you guys may... go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Sorry. Notes are confusing. Variety... so it's not even the first international weekend yet. And Variety... who wrote a review that was not very good. They still, cover box office, amounts. And they were saying that there was a solid opening with 9.3 million and first place finishes in 11 international markets. And it was really popular. Like, it was the open number 1 in Germany with biggest opening day of the year.
7th most popular opening day of all time. In Germany, is that correct? Which is crazy.
Oh, in Russia, it's the 5th biggest non-holiday opening, and in 2 weeks it comes to the U.S. and China. So I mean, like, it's not even the first weekend yet, and 9.3 is pretty good. So it's like what you're saying, like people breaking embargoes and being like, the movie, but people are seeing it. So.
Thank God. Well, and and I see people when I just got my hand stuck in a pair of scissors. I'm sorry. I'm like fiddling with everything. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like way over caffeinated or something. But when I put up my review, which, like I said, I was super careful to be spoiler free. I actually got a bunch of comments from people who saw it in France and in Germany.
Right, because the world premiere was in France.
Yeah, so when I posted it, there were a ton of people that were like, I read the review and I went and saw this and I don't understand the reviews. Like, I'm super confused by the reviews because, like, it's very much like I said, like, anybody who plays the game is going to walk out feeling like, oh my God, that was awesome. Like, when the movie ended, I was like, I want more, like, keep going. It's like the story just got good. So I really do hope that they are able to flag it to get to, greenlight a trilogy or at least a sequel, because they would, number one, they would take this feedback that they got, like, oh, this was confusing or that was confusing. And if that is said enough in a polite tone, that will be taken into consideration. Plus, we'll get answers about questions that we have. Plus...
maybe there could, if it does well, there could be a version for the fans, like the extended cut version.
I wish
like
the extended cut was in theaters. Yeah, I know that there will be. I'm 100% positive, and I don't care. I'm probably breaking embargo right now, but like I know.
I think they said that other places.
Like, I know for a fact there is a director's cut that has several major like lore scenes that would be relevant to fans that were cut out of the main cut, because you have to remember the main cut of the movie is for everybody, and then the director's cut is for people like us who want to know every intricate detail of how Khadgar's robes were constructed in the Warcraft. You know what I mean? Like, we care about stuff like that and other people don't, and so I know that there will be a director's edition, and I would harm puppies to be able to see it in theaters, but luckily that's not a thing, so no puppies will be harmed on this day. But the international box office results were phenomenal, considering that it didn't open on a weekend and that it also hasn't hit any of its major markets. Like, China is huge. World of Warcraft
for Daniel
is
Wu.
huge.
Yeah, he's
in
like
China.
a huge star there. Yeah,
so
I wonder if the marketing in China is like Warcraft's like starring
Daniel
and it
Wu,
makes it seem it's like the main character.
Yeah, I mean, that was the marketing in general. Like, I mean, obviously, did you get a loot crate this month?
They were meant to send it to me, but I didn't get it.
Okay, so if you don't get one, let me know. I'll like email my guy and I'll get you one. But okay, I gotta back up. I have a groove in my chair holder. So this was the shirt this month in Loot Crate.
Okay.
And it's like Lothar and Duratan. Do you see it?
Oh, now I see it. At first, like, because it's only the tiny preview, it sort of looked like it looked like one of those Mists of Pandaria cloud serpents for this world.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. But yeah, it's a super cool shirt. It's like one of those shirts that's going to be in my, like, you know how you might own like 50 things and you wear the same 5 all the time?
I like how it's not just like movie logo plastered
No,
on.
it's not. It's really
It's nice.
well done. It's really, really well done. It was also a Loot Crate exclusive, so I know you can't get this design anywhere else, but it's a really nice shirt. And I was super excited about that. But all the marketing has kind of implied that, you know, Lothar and Duratan are the main characters, and I would argue that Khadgar and Garona are the main characters. Like, it surprises me.
Right, because they seem to go through the most, like, change in their life.
Oh, well, Khadgar is such... I think Khadgar is the most relatable character, and I don't know if it's an age thing where I would consider him to be closer, because we know that, I mean, is it a spoiler that Lothar has a kid in the movie? No, I don't think so.
I feel like that just kind of snuck in, but yeah, USA Today covered it. They're like, oh, you know, he has this son that he tries to take care of, and they do have some more clips of him with his son in the USA Today thing. So yeah, it's not a spoiler.
So he has a kid in the movie, and I would consider myself to be closer in age to his son than him, which really makes me feel some kind of way. I don't know. I don't know if I have issues somewhere, but yeah. Which makes me feel like it's easier for me to relate to Garona and to Khadgar because they are what I would consider to be like in my age peer group. And I mean, Khadgar is in like every scene. Like he is in the movie from the first, I would say, you meet him maybe 8 to 10 minutes in, and he is in the final scene. Like he is in every scene of the movie. Like you very rarely don't see him. Like you I bet Khadgar, if you looked at the lines of the movie, has more lines than Duratan.
Interesting.
Like, he's a hugely important character. And he is, I honest to God think Khadgar's character makes the movie. He says so many funny, like, quippy, one-liner things. Like, my favorite.
That's cool. I mean, like, he says so many silly things in Warlords of Draenor and Legion as well. Like, we were just data mining voiceover. And yeah, he just, you know, he has this goofy personality.
He has this really good, and it really translated well on camera. And, like, Lothar is so serious and blah, 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 that, like, they just butt heads constantly. But then, like, being that Khadgar doesn't really have, like, a strong father figure, you see him, like, just clinging to anyone who will give him. Like, is Medivh giving him the time of day? Medivh is, like, his new dad. You know what I mean? Like, is King Lane giving him the time of day? Like, he loves King Lane. Like, he is so, like, desperate.
Like a little puppy.
He really is. Like, and that's the whole thing. But he's, like, this super, super powerful mage. But he's also, like, this little rebel, and he's like very immature, and he just wants to help. His personality and character is so phenomenal and is such polar opposite, particularly to Garona. So Garona experiences a ton of character growth, but she's still like, you know, she was still a former slave. Like she has all sorts of dark stuff, whereas Khadgar's just like constantly just like saying things that make you giggle. Like it's he's great. He's, like, my favorite. Like, there's a line in the movie. When you go see the movie, I swear to God, you will laugh out loud so hard when Khadgar says, "So do I go in?" Like, that. I know that sounds like... But, like, it's, like, this super tense, serious moment, and that is what spits out of his mouth. And
there's this scene that they're showing in a lot of the TV spots and trailers now where, it's like some battle, and like the orcs are like throwing horses and they're being ambushed and everyone's fighting, and Khadgar's like, "What do I do?" And Lothar's like, "Fight." And he's like, and then Khadgar's like, "They took my horse," and everyone else is like, "We have issues too."
I think what I really love about Khadgar's character is that he seems to approach super serious, like it's almost like everybody has different coping mechanisms, and in my opinion, the way that Khadgar comes across on screen is that his coping mechanism for very serious anxiety situations is like making these dumb jokes. And that's like how I am in real life. Like I can find humor in some really dark situations because that's how I handle my feelings. So I think I just really like related to him a lot. We're not spoiling anything. Nobody has said anything spoilery at all. We're only talking about trailers.
Yeah. We covered this on Tuesday on Wowhead, I think.
I'm also, like, under a strict embargo, and I wouldn't risk getting in trouble because I haven't, like... Okay, moving on. Perk and I are both going to the U.S. red carpet premiere, and we are really lucky. Blizzard invited us to go, and then, after Blizzard invited us to go, Universal invited us to stand with, like, the mainstream press.
Yeah. Big kids table.
Yeah, like we're at the big kids table. We're really, really excited about it. I'm wearing adult clothes.
Yep. We get to like stand on the red carpet and like bark questions at all the actors as they walk past.
And I'm really nervous and excited about it. So
Yeah.
we're doing that. We'll have lots of pictures. Hopefully we'll get some good video clips.
I'll bring Pepe.
Yes. Yes, fantastic.
I wonder if Rob, because he still plays. He knows who Pepe is.
I'm sure he knows. His exact words to me were, "I am an LFR hero," so I know he still plays.
Yeah.
My interviews, by the way, are off embargo on Monday, so I will have. I'm putting them all in one video because it's only going to be about 10 minutes long, edited. But there will be a blooper reel at the end because I'm actually super bummed because I wish they had filmed literally from when I walked in to when I walked out. Because there was this whole 2-minute spiel of Garona, Paula Patton, asking me about my purse. And I was really freaking out and scared that was going to eat into my time. As soon as she was done talking about my purse, I went to ask my first question, and Toby Kebbell, who plays Duratan, interrupted me, and he starts asking me about my necklace. And I'm like, I have 4 minutes! I have 4 minutes!
Here's my stuff. Do you remember me? Take with you.
I thought about it and I was like, she probably won't take it on the red carpet, but she was so nice. She asked her publicist to get my email to ask me where the freaking purse was from. But I don't think she ended up needing it because I happened to have a business thing in the purse because they sent it in there, so I gave it to her. But it made me feel really excited that a Hollywood person thought I dressed cool enough to ask me where I got things. But seriously, not even at the end of the interview, she starts again. As I'm leaving, she was like, wait, so seriously, where did you get that? So I have a bunch of cute little things that I'm putting in the blooper reel, and it was a really cool experience because I never at any point felt like the actors were not engaged in what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Even later on, the girls from Universal were super nice, and they knew I was of all the people there, I was the only one who actually gave a crap. You know what I mean?
It was so nice when they met with us this morning. They explained what the red carpet was like because they know we
don't know.
They were really nice to us. And
they were super nice to me when that was the same 2 girls that were there when I did my press junket, and they were obscenely nice to me. They came and met me at the gate at Universal so that security wouldn't so I wouldn't have to figure out where I was going. You know what I mean? They both came out, met me at the gate, and then they knew I was really excited. And after I was done with my interviews, they arranged so that I could go take that picture with Toby and Travis and Paula, which was super, super nice of them, and they didn't have to do that. And even then, even when I went back and I did this thing that the actors had not signed up to do, they didn't sign up to have some random fangirl come take a picture with them. Paula was still getting mic'd up, and Travis Fimmel was oh, well, we'll just take pictures individually, and then she kind of snuck in at the end. But none of them were acting snobby or rude. They were all super, super genuine people. And it's funny because looking back in the interviews, I was so nervous that I think I was a little rude to Toby Kebbell. I didn't mean to be, but so I was obsessed with Garona. I was
at least you weren't why does your character exist? You are not.
Absolutely not. Well, part of it was that I knew I had 40 minutes of interviews with him at home, so I was just don't talk. I've got time with you. I only have 4 minutes,
Yeah.
But so I was telling Garona my feelings, and Garona, oh my, Paula Patton, when you see her face, I can't. I love her so much. So when you see Paula and I'm talking about her, she's genuinely taken back by I know a lot about this. You were really important. Your role was so phenomenal. You're gonna walk away being the fan favorite character. And then I said, I don't know if you know this or not, but a huge plot point of this entire expansion was earning Garona as your ally, earning her as your guy. And I didn't even notice it at the time, but Toby Kebbell's oh yeah, Duratan was in the expansion too. Duratan was there. Yeah, I'm there too. And I just was completely entranced by Paula Patton, and it didn't even register to me that he said that. I feel so bad looking back because I just blatantly, it was he didn't even talk. I was just in a world of my own. No, I'm sorry, Paul's talking right now. It's kind of cool
that he knew because he didn't, he doesn't really play.
He knew that because I
was there too.
Wait a second. he knew that because if you look at my original interview, I gave him this whole spiel. And I don't know if that's 100% true, but I know that when I told him that in 2014, that was news to him because the expansion wasn't even out yet. And I was like, oh yeah, on the beta, like Duratan's like this huge character and he gets to meet his son Thrall as an adult, which is like this big mind thing. And he was like, oh yeah, very interesting. Da, 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 so cool. And like, so when he said that to me later on, I just wanted to be like, I mean, I told you that. I informed you of this 2 years ago, but I didn't mean to hurt his feelings, people in chat. It was an accident. Like, it was literally, I was so, because I didn't get to, it's funny, because I thought I would do that with Travis, but like, so Travis Fimmel, who plays Lothar, is so good looking in real life. I couldn't look at him straight on. Like, I literally, like, he was like the sun. Like, do not look directly at Travis Fimmel. He's too good looking. Wow. It helped, though, because for some reason, one of his shoes was off. Like, he was on his way to taking his shoes off. Didn't you say that he hates shoes? He hates shoes.
So that's why he's, like, barefoot in the scene where he's jumping on the
griffin. A scene. After that scene, he's never wearing shoes again in the entire movie. That was the thing that the director did to accommodate his hatred of shoes. I'm not kidding. That's a true story. Travis Fimmel hates shoes so much that Duncan Jones made it so that he loses his shoes 3/4 of the way through the movie and then never wears shoes again. The whole rest of the movie.
There needs to be a transmog item that's like, you know, there's like the Lothar's shoes that are invisible. There needs to be like
You know what it would be funny if they called it Ragnar's feet or Ragnar's boots or something like that? That would be really great. But, so fantastic. And so apparently he had his shoes off the entire time. And I was like the last interview. So he was like on his way of putting them back on. So I didn't notice it when I walked in. But then Paula points out, she's like, he's not wearing a shoe. He's not wearing shoes right now. And I look down and he's got one, and I mean barefoot, no socks, no shoes, nothing. One barefoot foot, one other foot. And I'm like so flustered by this whole situation that I'm like, oh, your foot's out right now. And then he like repeats it like it was the most ridiculous thing. And I was like, oh my God, I just said that. Pretty much that's the vibe of my entire interview is like all the interviews is me saying stupid things and then immediately eating my words and making ridiculous facial expressions because I can't handle that I'm there. So like word of advice, if anybody ever runs into Travis Fimmel in real life, don't look directly at him because only stupid words will come out of your mouth after that. Oh my God, no, so I was like super just obsessed with Paula Patton because I hadn't gotten to meet her at the set, and then she was such a main character of the movie, and she was so, have you ever talked to someone that makes you feel like every word out of your mouth is the most interesting thing they've ever heard?
Oh yeah, people like that are great.
She is so much like that. She hugs you with her eyes. Like I can't describe it in any way that, like she is so into, like she hangs on every word you say, and like she's so genuinely interested when you're talking. Either that or she's a better actress than anybody gives her credit for. Because
I mean, she put so much time into Garona, like putting on all the makeup and the hair and then like the stunt training and like, the swords. You know, she invested a lot.
In the video where I'm interviewing her, they gave me 3 viewpoints. One viewpoint is looking at me, one viewpoint is looking at all 3 of them, and one viewpoint pans close-ups on each one when they're talking. The close-up of her, when I am talking to her, you can see like tears welling up in her eyes.
Aww.
Like she is so incredibly sweet, like unreasonably nice. And, like, she was so, like, complimentary and not, like, generic compliments like, oh, my God, I love your hair. Lift it up. Let me see the back. I love your purse. Where did you get it? That's so cool. Is it handmade? Like, she gives off this vibe. Like, I feel like anyone who meets her would want to be her best friend. Like, she's so nice. The interviews, chat's asking, the interview will be up literally, like, midnight on the 30th. That's my embargo on it. But there are no spoilers in my interview either. The only semi-spoiler is that you do not find out how Garona is a human. But I don't think that's, or half human. But I don't think that's really a spoiler because it's not a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler because it's not a spoiler. But yeah, I was really, really impressed with her in particular and just how nice she was.
Yeah,
everybody was
meet her on the red carpet.
That'd be great. I hope that I think she'll remember me. Like I don't know if that's like, I'm not being conceited when I say that because I don't think that Toby Kebbell remembered me. I don't know if the guy who played Khadgar remembered me. Duncan Jones seemed to have a clue. like when I started talking, and he's tweeted me since then, but
yeah.
I truly believe that if, especially since I have hot pink hair, I kind of stand out a little. So I was hoping when she said, you know, oh, you might not be able to interview all the actors, you might not see everybody kind of thing. I really felt like, no, I think if Paula sees me, she'll say hi. Like, I really feel that way. Because she
It'll
was
be fun
so
either
nice.
way. I haven't done anything like
Oh,
this.
it's going to be amazing,
so, like,
Perk. It's going to be so good. I'm so glad we get to do this together, too.
I know.
Like,
we can, like, help each other with the parts we're confused about.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited that we get to do this experience together because I'm much less nervous having a partner in crime.
Yeah. It was cute when the ladies were like, oh, like, you'll have to, like, you know, do you want to be on camera together? Or, like, are you guys, like, okay being really close? And I'm like, no, we're fine. We're good friends.
You can just stand in front of me. It'll be fine. I'm a whole head taller than you. We can make it work.
Yeah, we can make it work.
We can make it work. Will it be vertically filmed? Possibly. But, like, listen, it's better than not being filmed at all. I think that's about right. I think I'm like I'm a lot taller than you.
And you wanted to wear heels.
Oh my god, I'm 6'1" in the heels that I'm wearing, Perk. 6'1".
Okay, you're definitely like you're like a foot tall.
Yeah,
I'm wearing heels too. But
if I like the heels that I bought are 5.5 inches, and I'm about 5'7.5", 5'8". Like I'm legitimately like 6'1".
You should bring a spare pair of slippers in case like the red carpet is uncomfortable, and at the end you're like, oh my god.
I do have a really cute pair of flats, so I'll probably just stick them in my purse, which is probably inappropriately casual, but that's okay. Because I really like.
I wanted to wear my shoulder armor piece, but if we're like sardines, I don't want to like.
You know what's funny is I almost asked you if I could wear that. Like I almost messaged you and was like, "Can I wear your shoulder armor thing with my dress?" But I held back. But we're really, really excited to go, and we will. I was thinking about actually making a Snapchat just so that we could do like micro vlogs while we're there. I don't have one, but I hear the youths are all about the Snapchat.
I could bring Pepe, and Pepe could be like, "I'm on the red carpet. Follow me on Snapchat."
Yes, if he's. Oh my God, Pepe should have a Snapchat.
He needs a bow tie.
Be like, find Pepe.
Yes.
Or where is Pepe? Wait, what is the achievement name? Not the long strange.
Pepe.
I found Pepe. That should be the name of Pepe's Snapchat. That's trademark. Nobody steal that.
But yeah, so, I'll be bringing Pepe to the premiere.
Yes, we're very excited. We're very, very, very excited, and I can't wait to see how hilarious Perk and I look next to each other because I didn't even think about how ridiculously giraffe tall I am in those shoes.
I'll like stand. Why did I forget? I'll like stand like one stair above you. So
yeah, you'll have to.
You, so it balances out.
I'll have to like bend down. Because I'm already like I feel like if you saw a picture of us now, like I'm already because I'm like. It's not really that I'm super tall or that Perk's super short. It's just
I am super short.
Oh, okay. I was trying to be nice, but you're pretty tiny. What are you, like 5 foot even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I mean, she's living that fun size life. I'm living that Amazon life, and we are ridiculous standing next to each other. But no, I can walk in my heels though. Somebody just said in chat that there was a girl at his office wearing 5-inch heels and she couldn't walk. I can totally walk in my shoes. They're like strapped. They're like,
I was more concerned if you're like standing on this concrete penis.
When I bought them when I was in the store, they were like strapped together so that you couldn't steal them, and I like made the employee take the strap off so that I could walk around the store to see if because I wanted to walk on carpet and I wanted to walk on the tile and I like really but I could do it, and my friend also videotaped me doing it so I could see myself to see if I looked like because it felt comfortable, but like what if I looked like a drunk giraffe? I needed to know. And it came out okay. So let's move on.
Yep. We have merchandise.
Yeah, we currently have a merchandise code with the Blizzard Gear Shop. It is code Wowhead WC movie to get 15% off merchandise for the Wowhead movie, or the Warcraft movie at the Blizzard Gear Shop. This one does include the Warcraft Funkos that were not included previously, as well as all of the t-shirts and hoodies. The only thing that this excludes are the like peripherals that are themed, as well as the very expensive Weta items, whatever. So definitely a good code if you were interested in getting any of that stuff. Now is a good time. I also think that coming up soon, Perk and I will likely have a giveaway with Jinx.
Yeah. Going back to the Blizzard Gear Shop for 1 second, they gave this code to us a few days early, which was super nice of them because it runs until June 30th, and they figured we'd want it for like the international weekend and also for the long weekend in the US. So Thank you, Blizzard, for that. I'm actually wearing one of the shirts. I think that this is Jinx, but it's also on sale on the Blizzard Gear Shop. So it's this Alliance Lion shirt, and it has like a stained glass pattern, so it's not this searingly gold lion. It's got a cool vibe to it. Do you have a graphic for the Jinx merchandise out today? Or
Wait, yes. Bam.
Okay, awesome.
Look at that.
This was also today.
I did a thing.
Yeah, and we are having a giveaway coming up for some of these t-shirts. Not now, though, but soon.
Soon.
We have a lot of cool stuff coming next week as well.
The Warcraft, I happen to have, they made the mistake of sending me a PDF file of, like, new stuff coming to Jinx.
I need to see that.
I'll see if I can dig it out. That was, I showed you guys the Illidan hoodie last week that I probably wasn't supposed to show you. That's one of the things. But the Warcraft movie merchandise, there are, like, wallets, like leather wallets that are all distressed.
They are so cool.
And super cool, and I'm excited. There's a lot of cool stuff coming.
There are these keychains as well, which are cool, and they're not just Alliance and Horde. There are Kirin Tor themed ones as well. There's like a logo one, there's colored versions, there's silver versions. One thing that's cool is that on the Blizzard Gear Shop, there is a Doomhammer with a black background, and on Jinx, they've got the red version of that.
It's really clever when they do stuff like that.
What else is there? Yeah, there's also these like cute bracelets as well. So I like how there's a full range of accessories. And yeah, also not on the notes but came out today is on Legendary's website. There is a limited edition series of art prints for $80, and it's made by artist Kevin Tong, and it's a pair of 18 by 24 inch 3-color screen prints. It's limited to an edition of 195 with matching hand numbering, and yeah, it looks very fancy. Yeah, it's like it's like a close-up wolf and griffin, and then inside the character, you see like the actual characters of the film, and yeah, it looks very. It's very neat. I like the style.
Well, what I really like about all of this stuff, right, is that like say you don't even love the Warcraft movie, even as like a Warcraft player and a Warcraft fan, it's just cool to have all this different version of merchandise coming out because it still is relevant to your interests.
Yep. It serves double duty.
Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say.
This is just like an Alliance shirt. It's not like, oh, it has some person's face plastered on it. Although I'm sure you could get that too somewhere.
Someone in chat said Blizzard needs to focus on their games, not stores and apparel. Those are two different groups of people. Like game developers are not making merchandise. And merchandising
and a lot of this
people.
Merchandise is like not even Blizzard. Yeah. It's like companies that do art and
that got licensing. Yeah, like the leggings, like Wild Bangarang has the license for Warcraft leggings. Jinx obviously has the license, and a lot of those shirts that you see that are similar to Jinx that are on the Blizzard Gear Shop are just Jinx exclusives to the Blizzard Gear Shop. Like Blizzard doesn't handle a lot of their own merchandise, and what they do is certainly not handled by game developers, so it's not.
That would be bad.
Yeah, well, it would be bad merchandise.
If we're gonna like go in stereotypes about how Blizzard is spending their money and who does what, I don't know if you'd want a stereotypical, designer picking fashion stuff.
So also before we go, I do want to talk about our beta key giveaways. Mine ends tomorrow at midnight Eastern time. It's very easy to enter. You watch the video, you answer the question, and you include a contact method in your comment, and then I'm using a random comment picker to choose 150 random winners for my beta key giveaway. What about Wowhead?
So Wowhead is on week 3. It's kind of funny because usually we had builds every Wednesday, so we decided that we'd do our giveaways on Thursday, and for the past 2 weeks the builds have been like delayed and happened right at the same time as when we were starting our next giveaway. So it's been an interesting few weeks.
Absolutely.
But we're on week 3. This week, you have to run 2 of the following instances: Magtheridon, Sunwell, Black Temple, Hyjal, and Well of Eternity. So you're meant to like learn a bit about the Burning Legion by doing 2 of these instances. I'm emphasizing 2 because in past weeks you would have to do 1 of the things listed, and this week you have to do multiple things. And you have until next Thursday, which I believe is June 2nd, to enter. And yeah, we have full giveaway rules. If you've entered the giveaways before, it's pretty easy. Connect your Battle.net account and your Wowhead account. If you're eligible, hit the enter contest button. If you haven't done the achievements, you can log on in game and do them, and then come back to Wowhead and enter. And yeah, we have keys for like an indefinite amount of weeks. So,
So many
definitely
weeks.
enter. Yeah.
So many weeks. But yeah, and you can enter both of our giveaways. I will say, like, I don't know how the Wowhead one is determined, but my giveaway will only count your very first comment. It'll completely delete.
You can
any
only
additional...
enter one time
Yeah.
on WoW. So like if 10 alts have run stuff, it's like whatever. We know that you only have one account.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. I have a thing that will filter out any duplicate entries as well. So I think that's all we have to talk about this week, and I need to turn my AC on because it is stupid hot in New York. Like, I think it's warmer here than it is in LA.
It was really cloudy this morning, so...
Yeah, it's 83 here right now. And I'm in the upstairs, and
I think it's warmer where you are. Yeah.
It's awful. I don't know why it's so hot. It's May, and you know New York. It shouldn't be this hot in May. It's very odd.
Yep.
So I'm going to go and turn my AC on. But before I do, I want to thank everybody who has taken the time out of their day to subscribe to Wowhead on Twitch, and also who subscribe to Wowhead Premium, which is a premium service that removes all of the ads from Wowhead, both desktop and mobile. As long as you're signed in, it allows you to track quests, customize your Today in Draenor talk in a special color when you're on the forums and in the comments, and it directly supports Wowhead. So thank you, everybody who participates in those things. Also, thank you for joining us live. Thank you for watching our VODs on YouTube, and thanks for checking out Wowhead in general. It's all very helpful and appreciated, and we love you. We will be back next week, same bat time, same bat weight. Is that true?
Yeah,
Wait,
I think so.
Are you sure? What day is the premiere? Oh, no, I'm not leaving till the 4th.
Yeah, the premiere's on a Monday, so we're set.
We will be here, same bat time, same bat channel, so that will be Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/wowhead. Shortly after that, we will upload our VODs to YouTube. I do apologize to anybody who wasn't able to watch last week's VOD because we got copyright flagged. The Twitch link to watch the full VOD is available on wowhead.com. So if you missed it, that's where you can watch it. We are going to go. Yep. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful weekend and a good week, and I hope that if you are international, everybody keeps reminding me of this, and I keep forgetting because I don't know even what weekends are. All my days blur together. But everybody that's going to see the movie in other countries, enjoy it, have a good time. Everybody who is not being able to see it for a while, be patient. It'll happen soon. We will see you soon, guys. Have a great evening, and that's all. That's all, folks. Goodbye.
Bye.